Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Solani M and I am the sex conversationalist. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you and thank you and thank you so much for coming back and tuning in. If you're new, please look around your screen. I am sure there's a red button somewhere there. Tap on it, join us, and let's chat about sex, babies. So in today's video, I will be tackling a question that I think is very important in anyone's journey in anything, but we're going to be very specific to your sexual journey. The question is, are you ready? Being ready, hey? I don't know, man. I don't think I can tell you if you're ready. I don't think you can tell anybody if they're ready. I think only you can know if you're ready, you know? There are beliefs that you're ready when you're married, but I don't really think so, you know? It doesn't take marriage to prepare you for sex. It really just takes you, I don't know, introspecting and like just inquiring as to what it takes for your readiness and deciding whether you've taken those measures and you've reached that place in your life, you know? So I don't know, man. I don't like it when society gives this question a blanket approach. Your readiness and my readiness, two different things, because we base it on different reasons. We have different beliefs, we're different people, we've been raised by different people. Just our external factors are entirely different, our internal factors are entirely different. So yeah, being ready, it's different for everyone. I think, however, there are some core things that everybody should share in terms of the inquiry as to whether or not they are ready, you know? So the core things that I think are important for each and every person, I think before you can do anything, before you can have sex or even like just touch yourself in foreplay, I think firstly, the most important thing for me personally that I would also like tell someone who would ask me, what is the one thing you need to consider before engaging in any kind of sexual activities? You need to consider who you're doing it for. Are you doing it for your partner? Are you doing it because your friends are doing it? Are you doing it because why? Who are you doing it for, and why are you doing it? You know, if you're doing it for yourself, listen, go right on ahead. But if there are other factors, or sure, there can be other factors, but if they are stronger than you wanting to do this, then don't do it, you know? Say no. If it's not about you, if it's not what you want, say no. You know, I've realized and I've noticed that men don't have sex for women. Like, if there's one thing they do for themselves, is have sex. And our society has, I don't know, it has wired women to have sex for men or for things, you know? And I mean, who am I to say don't do shit for your man, or don't work for your money? But I'm just like, let it be for you, you know? Even if you're doing it for your man, for his happiness, but his happiness should make you happy, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it should come back and boil down to your happiness. So I'll be happier if he's happy. Ugh. That is very messy in my opinion, but at least it just does boil down to you. I'll be happy if he gives me the money. Still messy in my opinion, but as long as it boils down to you, your happiness, what you want to do, that's just the most important thing for me, that I think you need to consider in deciding whether or not you're ready. Is this thing gonna make you happy? Is this thing for you, you know? Are you taking something out of it? And the second thing I think we should consider, the consequences. Guys, the consequences vary from emotional to mental to spiritual to physical. You know, they are very, like, they vary. Spiritually, you join, you share your spirits, you come together with someone when you have sex with them. There's spirits everywhere, guys. So even when you foreplay, or when you masturbate, there are spirits that you take in order to, you know, do those things to yourself. So I don't really know much about the spiritual aspect of it, but I just know that it exists and it needs to be considered. The mental part of it, you know, if you do things for the wrong reasons, they will fuck you up. So if this thing is not for you, if this thing is for him, you will be unfulfilled. You will just constantly, like, you're not going to be okay, you're not going to be happy, you know. If it's not for you, it'll fuck you up mentally. Physically, we have, you know, the diseases, the infections, the pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies, wanted pregnancies. There's all of those things there that come with that are a consequence for, I don't want to say engaging in sex recklessly, because even in the most responsible way you engage in sex, you can end up in those situations. Emotionally, okay, this one I like to think that we can control. I like to think that. I don't know if it's a fact that we can, but I find comfort in knowing that I'm in control of that bit. So sharp, I know feelings happen to you, but you know how to deal with them. Feelings are not, feelings are meant to be felt. It ends there. You decide whether you make it something bigger than that, a commitment or whatever. So you have somewhat control, but however, I'm just realizing that you really don't have control over whether or not you feel shit. That happens to you. It's how you deal with those feelings that you have control over. So sex does come with some feelings, and sometimes those things are unwanted. Those emotions are unwanted, or those emotions are for people who are not good for you. You know, you need to think about all these things, guys. You need to think about the spiritual aspect. You need to think about your emotional well-being, and like what kind of emotional traps you're gonna fall into. You need to think about what you're gonna contract, whether or not you're gonna fall pregnant, and what you're gonna do with all these things. If the worst is to happen, what are you gonna do? You need to think about your your spirit, in the sense that you don't want to not be yourself anymore. You take someone's spirit, you share someone's spirit when you have sex with them. And if you're having sex with someone who believes in things that oppose you or diminish who you are, you're sharing your energy with someone who's taking away from you. So you're taking away, like, that's taking away from you. You're not yourself anymore, you know, a little bit. Like, you're spiritually a part of you is gone, you know, because you've taken a part of a person who you are not, who you do not want to be, who you do not share values with, who you do not share, like, core important things with. So you've lost a bit of yourself. So yeah, I just think those are the things you need to consider, those consequences when it comes to sex, whether it is your first time, whether it is your first time with your partner. Like, just think, guys. Lastly, I think it's very important, before you can do anything, to just know who you are, you know. Knowing who you are means clearly defining your values, clearly defining your beliefs, clearly defining your morals, clearly defining the external factors that you allow to influence you, you know, and the ones that you have no control over, but they, like, you can't decide, you can't control whether or not they influence you, but they do. You need to clearly define those things around you. You need to clearly define the things in your mind and in your heart, things you believe in, and then you need to find a standing. Finding a standing means that you need to decide what you're going to take and what you're not going to take. I think that will help you navigate the kind of people you're going to engage sexually with, you know, because then you know that it's going to rain. I need to conclude this video. Then you know that I cannot share this with this kind of person. No ways. This is who I am, and they are against what I am, and there's no way, you know. Oh wow, so much like me, or I'm learning so much, or they're opening up my mind so much, I can't wait to share this bit of myself with them, or to find out that bit of themselves of them, you know. So yeah, it's very important to just know who you are. That comes with a lot of introspection, observation of your surroundings, the things that you've chosen to be around you, observation of your decisions. Just learn the person you are, learn who you are, and be who you are, you know. Yeah, it'll help you avoid a lot of weirdness and a lot of toxic vibes or energy. Yeah, that's the last thing that I think is very important, that I think all these three things, they're very important. You need to, before you can engage in sex with anyone, I think it's important that you know that firstly, you're doing it for yourself. Secondly, you are aware of all of the consequences that can come out of this. And lastly, you know who you are, you know, and you are who you are. Before I can end this video, I think it's very important for me to just point out that this is not for, I'm not saying this directed to women, males as well. I don't think society has told you guys enough that you get to be ready also. You also have to go through steps. You also have to vet the girl. You also have to be ready. You know, it's not automatic. You don't always want sex, and that is okay. It's really okay. And I think as a society, we need to start thinking like that and seeing things like that and accepting things for what they are, because we can't just assume that niyaifuna all the time, because like, nah, I don't want it all the time. So is it fair for me to expect that a man, just because une penis, wants it all the time? No, it is unfair. And I think it takes away your power in saying, nah, I don't want to, you know. It makes, I don't know, it's just weird. And it's allowed for society to kind of ridicule men who wish not to engage in sexual activity, and that's not fair, and that is wrong. And I just thought I need to mention it. Please, guys, before you can do any of these things, be ready. Be sure you're ready. I can't tell you you're ready. No one can. Only you know. So yeah, that is it from moi, the sex conversationalist. If you haven't, look around your screen, guys. I'm pretty sure there's a subscribe button somewhere there. Tap on it, join us, and let's chat about sex, babies.